What's up, dog? How are you tonight? Welcome to What's Up, Dog, where we talk all things dog. We are streaming on 2 platforms tonight. We are streaming on, oh, there we go. We are streaming on my personal Facebook page and What's Up, Dog, where we talk all things dog. And tonight, we have a series going of safety over the holidays. And I just put up a little short that I had done about the best, most appropriate way to pet your dog that is so gratifying for you and your dog. And in it, I said that, I'm happy to pet your dog, whether your dog's jumping on me or I'm just happy to pet your dog. And when I rewatched it, I went, oh God, that's such great content because we can talk about dogs jumping all over everybody for the holidays when they're all dressed up. Awkward. And I want to welcome my sister, Nicole. Hey, who's watching? Can I get comments? Glad you're here. Glad to have you. Introduce my sister, who is going to I shouldn't say I'm going to introduce her because she's going to introduce herself and she is going to tell you why she's on here, her qualifications, because we are trying to be, we skip some nights because I have some technical difficulty. There are lots of dogs involved and a very busy grooming salon involved. So my goal is to be on as many nights as possible until I have the nights that I'm going to broadcast regularly. We're getting better every single time we do this. I'm going to try to share my screen tonight. Baby, been practicing. And we want a community where we can have live conversations. We can talk about things, talk about why dogs are in therapy and, do such great therapy work, why they're such wonderful companions, and everything that's involved in our lives that's involved in dogs. So, Nicole, you want to introduce? So we're here to keep you company. What I want to say behind that is we understand the holidays bring up all the messy. It brings up all the messy. And sometimes messy includes loneliness. And we want to just have a live, open community forum where you don't even have to say anything. But if you needed some company or you needed some friendly faces that talked about things other than the things that are going on in the world and just joyous moments, that's what dogs bring us. We want to be here for you. So after I said all that, Nicole, you would like to introduce yourself? The makeup lady? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Yeah, no can hear you. We're having some technical difficulties. While we're having, I don't know why it's not showing up on my Facebook page either. While we're having some technical difficulties, she's going to try to plug in her mic. I want to tell you that I'm Claudia and I was a dog trainer for years. In Fort Lauderdale, I owned a company called Heavenly Hounds. And it was a positive reinforcement dog training where we did, and this was back in the day because I'm kind of an OG. We did a lot of therapy dog work, which has taken off since then. I mean, I really was kind of a founder in getting a lot of these programs started in Fort Lauderdale, when the wave came through. So, and I studied all positive reinforcement. I went to Purdue University and took their behavioral classes. At that time, Purdue University offered people that were in the dog training industry, behavioral classes to come study with them. And so I jumped at that opportunity as a young single mom, and come study with them. And so I jumped at that opportunity. So as a young single mom, I saved and I scrimped and I made sure that I got there because my true passion was dog behavior. So let's see if I get my sister back on. So I wanted to give you my qualifications, and I am Claudia from Hands to Paws, Groom Style Swag, where we are an amazing dog grooming, I call them stylist facility, which is veterinarian partners and home of kind handling. So the goal is always to be kind. Even I do not succeed at that all the time. So sometimes things are messy. I'm always kind with your dogs, though, I promise. So as a trainer, one of the number one complaints, so let me tell you, when you're going to somebody's house and you're there to train the dog, they're going to give you about 7 to 10 behaviors that they would like fixed immediately. And most of these behaviors revolve around self-control, reinforcement, learning a skill, applying a skill, and then having the maturity and self-control to follow through with that skill. That sounds like a lot, but remember, it's a very short development time. We used to say that you could change behaviors in 6 to 8 weeks, right? That would solidify changing a habit. So we would do 21 days, and then we would do another 21 days to make that habit stick. I have recently been educated through my favorite YouTube channel that I follow and inspired me to do What's Up Dog, that is changed, and it is now 71 days. So in the training world, we would tell you that if you hit 5 days and you had a success, and on the 7th day that failed, we would start back at day 1. So I know that sounds like a really long time. It's not. It's like going to school. Okay, you go to pre-K, you go to kindergarten, you go to first grade, second grade, and all that time you're developing, right? That whole time. And training is you're doing it anyway, whether you realize it or not. You are training your dog to do behaviors. You reinforce them in your relationship with the dog, no matter what that behavior is. I know you're like, I didn't do that, but we did, because dogs are always going to fall in line. My, and I shouldn't say always, because there's always exceptions to the rules, and there's different breeds that need different things. So Zach George has a YouTube channel. I'm going to say it again. Zach George has a YouTube channel. And he started that YouTube channel way back when. And he's positive reinforcement. He also plays Frisbee. That's my game. And he is a phenomenal trainer. And he has broken down these steps on YouTube. Now, I haven't been on his channel forever. I started following when he was just what we call now vlogging. It was before the word vlogging was even out. So him and his girlfriend, they traveled around with their dogs doing Frisbee, and they videoed it, and they were great at it. But he breaks things down step by step by step, and he makes it real life. And I don't know what it is about Zach George, but he always has this, like, he has genuine joy when he's working with the dogs. And maybe it's because he does the sport aspect too. I've never seen him not where it's just genuine. And he does it out of a complete, utter passion. And I'm so happy that he has been so successful and has so many brand things. And I've definitely been, before I was Chase Hughes' #1 fangirl, I still am Zach George's #1 fangirl. So that is my as I walk you through training, I don't have a epilogue of training videos for you, but Zach George does. And if I do well with this channel, I promise you, I will reach out to him and say, hey, fangirl, would you be on the channel and come and talk to people? Because that is my number one recommendation for people like us at home that deal with our dogs, because you're training your dog every single day. You are reinforcing those behaviors, and some of those behaviors really work for us. Like my dogs have certain behaviors that just work for me. They have other ones that don't. Like they're the best sneaks in the world, and they're just naughty sometimes. But I don't spend a lot of time doing corrective things for that either. So let me take accountability there and say that again. I don't spend a lot of time to correct those things. And that just becomes the dynamic of our household. And you're living in the dynamic of your households. So training is happening all the time. So if you're going to do it anyway, and you're doing all these interactions with your dogs, you might as well be applying some things that you say you want and then put them into practice, such as jumping on people. So in my video, I said, I'm going to pet your dog because I like dogs. And if your dog jumps on me, I'm petting your dog because I like dogs. So as long as I'm doing that and your dog's jumping on me, what I'm doing is reinforcing that behavior. And I'm a dog trainer and I know it. And if you're not correcting your dog, if you're not politely asking your dog, speaking to your dog, not to me going, baby, you are reinforcing the behavior. And then I'm triple reinforcing the behavior, because being pet and having social interaction with somebody that is enjoying that social interaction is what we would term as self-rewarding. They like it. They like it. And the human being that is reinforcing that behavior likes it too. And it can be really awkward to get angry at your dog, to get frustrated. You don't want to be impolite, right, to the other person. And sometimes you just let it happen. And there's incidences where I can tell you where I have watched people petting a dog that's jumping on them, and the owner will go to politely tell the dog no, and they will restrain the dog because they are enjoying that interaction. So let's talk dog. What's up, dog? So how do I handle that, Claudia? What do I do? Well, if it were your child and your child walked up to somebody and kicked them and the stranger said, that's okay, would you be in agreement at that point? Would you look at your child and say, hey, unacceptable, just not acceptable? Well, kind of the same scenario with your not humanized. Dogs are our babies, but humans are one species and dogs are another. And it's super important, no matter how much you love your canine, that you respect that that is what they are. They are a dog and they think like a dog. And if you really take that concept home and respect them for their differences and the things that they do that does not think like a human, you are going to have such better communication. Okay. So what you do is politely speak to your dog. So I have 3 dogs. I have Jack and Jill. I do. Jackson and Jillian, Jack and Jill. They're both cattle dogs. And I have Balto, a Pyrenees Border Collie mix. He's just super gentlemanlike and he would never think of jumping on you. However, Jillian, who I've taught to play Frisbee, might bounce off of you. So I would actually speak to Jillian politely and nicely. I would also take control of her collar, and then I would speak to my person. I would politely say to them, and I keep saying politely because sometimes people just say things and they can offend somebody and they didn't mean any offense by it, right? So they just were like frustrated and, Jillian, I've been telling you not to do that. Stop it. And then somebody could be like, oh God, I got the dog in trouble. So that's not the reaction you want. So you want to be cognizant of how you say what you're going to say. You want to think about it. You want to think about it, especially if you're a doodle, golden doodle, labradoodle, bernedoodle, border-doodle, Aussie doodle. Boy, I love these Aussie doodles. And they're super social and the dog is friendly. And, maybe you let them jump on you at home also. So you want to speak to the dog. Jillian, no. You want to put your hand up closer to the collar and help your dog understand that we need 4 on the floor. And then you can speak to your person and say, I know she's so silly, my Jillian. It is fine if you pet her. I just need 4 on the floor. She's learning her self-control. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so let's review what I said and uncomplicated. As long as that dog's jumping on somebody, like me, unless you correct your dog, I'm going to pet your dog. I'm going to reinforce that behavior because I like petting your dog. Unless you correct your dog is going to think that's okay. All right? And if you don't correct your dog, you are reinforcing that behavior. What's up, dog? Okay? So if somebody's wearing an outfit that they didn't want dog feet stuff on, if somebody doesn't want dog hair on their clothes, if somebody has very, very thin skin and the dog's nails cut them, if the dog could push somebody, poof, and could cause a problem, could pull you. You can tell I was a dog trainer. I work with dogs a lot of time because I physically go into it. It could be offensive if it's a child and a dog's jumping. Child are little people, right? They could get knocked over. They could get scratched on. All sorts of things can happen. So, and most people, when they're babies, until they're 6 to 8 months old, allow their dogs to jump on them. They're your baby. And it's become very commonplace that people are now teaching, especially the doodles, to literally be carried. And in New York, where they're doing them on the subway, they're literally in backpacks. That's fine, as long as you're training your dog to do those things. What? As long as you're training your dogs to do those things. Otherwise, you're inadvertently training your dog that it is very socially acceptable to jump all over people. And about 6 to 8 months is when it gets really, really obnoxious because they turn into teenagers. If you're going to allow your baby to jump on you, if you find that really, really rewarding, and that's an interaction that you enjoy, it's time to put some train in your game. You're training your dog anyway. You're doing it anyway. You're reinforcing all those behaviors anyway. So it's time to put some train in your game. And it is by putting it on command. So you are correcting it anytime and every time it is inappropriate. Correct it every time, anytime, all the time when it is inappropriate. Here's the thing. Your dog has to learn. If it's a puppy, it's not going to have the self-control. Maybe won't succeed right away, right? Pre-K, they start learning their ABCs. By the time you get to first grade, you need to know your ABCs. There's going to be lots of mistakes. The one mistake, if you really want, you're doing it anyway, a really well-trained dog, is to make sure that you do it every time, anytime, and all the time. And then you can tell your dog, this is the signal for up. This is whatever you would like to make a signal. and reward your dog that time. Does that make sense? Have anybody watching? I don't have any comments. Am I not getting? Oh God. Hey, John. What? I have no sound. Are you kidding? I went through all that. No sound. Is it my sister? No sound. Why am I not seeing your? Let me turn this off for a second. Let me take the banner out. I want you out. I hope I was not talking that whole time. I wonder if it's my computer and it's glitching. I'm going to turn up here. Okay, so I can hear me talking on here. Very interesting, because I can see your guys' comments.
Okay, so I can hear me talking on here.
All right, so I can see your comments. Thank you, John. I'm sorry, I don't know why the comments aren't working, but I do have my phone open. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Matthew. So I do have my phone on so I can see and I can write back. I'm going to need a moderator soon, I can tell. So, okay. So you're training your dog anyway. You might as well come up with a plan. And listen, this is going to get frustrating because especially very young dogs, they're going to do it. And if they're a terrier, they're going to they're going to do it till they test you, and they know exactly when you're getting frustrated. They can tell before you've made the thought in their head that you're going to be frustrated, but you still got to tell them it's a no. Every time, all the time, anytime. And the other thing that I like to tell people when dogs are jumping all over people is, remember, I'm going to pet your dog. I'm going to reinforce it. You're going to reinforce it by not stopping me from reinforcing it. And we're both going to reinforce it by not correcting the dog. But myself, as the person meeting your dog, I don't mind your dog jumping on me. And I definitely like petting your dog. So remember, that is most people, unless you were bumping that person that's not. They got knocked over. They have thin skin. They were wearing an outfit that they didn't want to get dirty. The dog's nails were long. They got hurt. They got pushed, right? Could be very problematic. So something really to think about. As we've done our holiday series and keeping your dog safe over the holidays, we've talked about setting expectations for you and the guests, right? And the dogs, to having a plan for safety, for food, for alcohol, for doors being left open. And this is one, and we started this series really early because you're getting ready for the holidays now. So you want to be prepared when they happen. So nothing happens everything happens that is safe and nothing happens that is unsafe. So this is another one of these things to take in consideration, because if you have a very young dog, you're probably not going to have that totally taken out, keeping in mind 71 days to break the cycle of the habit. You're probably not going to have that worked out by then. So as you're deciding if you're going somewhere with your dog, or if your dog is coming somewhere with you, and this is something that you have reinforced, meaning to or not, right? Even yelling at a dog can be reinforcing, okay? So if the dog jumps on me and I yell at him every single night as part of the game, I just bark a little bit louder and I get a little frustrated, and the dog's like, oh, that's great, I got to say hi, and then we're off to our other business, right? So every time, you got to correct it every time, all the time. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Melanie. So you want to set that expectation now, before you have company, right? Especially if people are going to be dressed nice. You want to set it up now. How can you do that? Well, one is Remember, there's two train of thoughts. There's my train of thought that says, I will put my dogs in the bedroom in their appropriate confined areas where I know that they are safe, they're comfortable, they're happy. When I know that everybody is settled, and my sister can attest to this, when everybody is settled and things are nice and calm and when the excitement's over, I might let my dog out then. So that's one. That's my train of thinking. I just don't want problems. I believe that prevention is worth 1,000 cures. The other line of thinking is, this is the dog's house, and that's you are coming into my family's house, and the dog is part of the family. It is their house. You need to accommodate to us. And that is absolutely fine. You just want to set up your expectations. Everybody, and then you're not going to have a problem. And you also want to have a game plan for when they walk through the door, because they're going to be excited to see your guests. So, and that is probably the point when they are, not probably, it is the point when they are going to want to jump all over them. So depending on your household, just depending on your household, you might want to put the dog on a leash. You might want to set up, if you have a partner in the household, a game plan about one person standing away where the dog can't even touch the human, where it's just not a big deal. Dog's going to be up in the air like this. Hey, especially if it's a doodle. Hey. And if I walk in, I'm going to be like, hey. But expectations have already been set up. And I know as a guest that you don't want me touching your dog because this is a great teaching moment. And if you have a partner or a co-conspirator, somebody that's in on what you're doing, right? Because you're training anyway. You're doing it anyway. So you might as well train for what you want. And they can greet your company. Dog can be over here, hey, and you're going to say, I'm going to give you every chance to touch that super social dog over there. I just want them to learn not to jump on people. That's one way. Another way is to have the dog put up when company is arriving. Okay, again, just prevention's worth 1,000 cures. That way your company, because when people come to other people's houses, they're usually awkward for a moment. Even if it's family members, if there's new people there, people and animals walk in and kind of assess the situation. So another way is when the guests are coming, is to have the dog go up for a moment, right? So they're not bombarded. They're not physically assaulted. And they can walk in, they can present themselves, the cute outfit, want to go say hi to people. And the dog knows that the people are there. So he's in my case, they'll be in my bedroom, or have another room that I'll put them in. And they'll be like, hey, there's company here. By the time they come out, they're just going to run around and say hi. And at that point, your company can be prepared for the greeting. They could just be prepared for the greeting. All right. And you're going to have two things happen. You're going to have non-awkward moments, right? And you're going to have the opportunity for these amazing teaching moments every time, all the time, anytime, until the dog has the self-maturity, has learned the skill, has the self-maturity to apply the skill, and has the self-control. And guys, it can happen in the first year if you do it every time, all the time, anytime, okay? Because you're training anyway. You're reinforcing anyway. So just come up with a plan. Another great solution is putting a dog in an open kennel, not a closed kennel. I don't like closed kennels, but that's just me. I don't like closed kennels. And having the dog go in there. You can give them a cookie. You can give them a favorite toy. You can give them something. Go in there. They might be a little loud for a moment. That's okay. If you know the expectations, your company knows the expectations, and they're going to bounce in there and be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Then your company still can walk in, get, comfortable in the atmosphere, and go over and say hi, right? Without the dog jumping on them. And then you can let the dog out, but they are prepared. So there's a huge difference in being prepared and then just being jumped on. And if because, I just like dogs. So if a dog jumps on me, I'm going to pet him. It's what I'm going to do. I'm trained as a trainer, but unless you're correcting that dog, I'm going to reinforce that behavior. And if I didn't want to reinforce the behavior and I felt it was super annoying, I might insult you by pushing your dog. My face might, oh God, Jesus, oh God, and then it's awkward. And then it's just awkward. It's awkward. And then you might be going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, stop it, stop it. And then you're yelling at your dog, and that's awkward. Or there could be a confrontation between the people, because sometimes, especially during this kind of year, sometimes people just kind of say what they think. And I know that sometimes, I'm usually a pretty optimistic personality, but if I'm not in that optimistic mood and you just that last straw on the last day, something might say, it could cause awkwardness, confrontationalness. And that's not what the dog wants, right? Dog's like, whoa, I just want to say hi, hey. So set your expectations. Come up with a plan. Come up with a plan. Let your people know what they want. What's up, Dog Ren? What's up? My comments aren't working again tonight. So what, girl? I am so glad we have people come on, jump on, check it out. I'm going to try to share my screen. So Ren, we just talked about all the dogs jumping all over. So I don't know, like my dogs won't jump on you. Well, Jillian will. Remember, I have Jack and Jill. And Jillian, I literally taught to jump off of me because I was playing Frisbee. So I taught her a behavior, reinforced the behavior, and then had to turn around and try to correct the behavior. So, but I knew that I was reinforcing it. I'm just saying. So I'm going to try to share my screen with you. I hope you enjoyed that content. I hope that you found value in it. So this is my first time doing this. I don't know if it's going to work or not. There may be a delay. And maybe it's not going to work. Maybe it is. I don't know. All right. Okay. Oh God. So now okay. So now I don't know how to stop it. And I've got me talking in the background. Cool. This is fun, this learning experience is fun. So I can just click out of this. All right. So, hey guys, big fail, big messy moment there. And so sorry about that. I was trying to share my screen. I thought I would be able to get it. I did not. And I'm supposed to end these. I watch all these great videos on the YouTubers that I follow. And I really do follow a lot of YouTubers. And they tell me how to end this so that it's interesting. And every time I'm ready to end a video, I'm like, blah, blah. So, but I do hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you found value in that information, and I will be back hopefully tomorrow night. Oh, I won't be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I am doing a seminar on how to cut your dog's nails. Hey, Sage, what's up, dog? What are you doing, girl? Oh, God, I miss you. I follow you. I love that you're so involved with the horses. Sorry, squirrel, Sage, squirrel, Sage. So tomorrow night, I'm doing a seminar at 6 o'clock on Hands to Paws Facebook page, discussing the pad and the nails of the dog. Okay, hands to paws, hands. Oh, if I could have shared my screen, I could have given you this beautiful picture of hands to paws. So I'm going to go through how important the nails and the pads and the care for this area is. So that's on Hands to Paws Facebook page tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. It is my first paid for event. It is only $4.99. And I hope that you join me to just talk dog. And Sage, I hope you contact me or come see me and give me a Christmas hug. Ren, everybody that was here, I so appreciate you tuning in. And I will see you at Hands to Paws tomorrow night for our live seminar. Bye, guys.